My favorite band moment is definitely the day Dimicelli told me one of my ideas was not stupid, recommended it to the band. My favorite show is If I Only Had, just because it was really good.
What I'm going to miss the most is the way Dimicelli looks at people when they say stupid things, and he looks around the room for confirmation, what that person said was stupid, and his face is always yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm going to miss the most is just being in band and hanging out with all my buds.
My favorite band moment was freshman year when we were in sectionals and Smith walked out for 10 minutes and he didn't tell anybody why he left. And so all the seniors dared me, the freshman, to go and try it and take a sip of his coffee. And as a freshman, I needed that confirmation, and so I did. And then junior year, I was in their office and I found out that Smith is a germaphobe. So sorry that I drank from your straw, Smith. My bad.
My favorite show was Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep because it was really good.
My favorite show was Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep.
This is really good.
It's really good.
Really good.
My favorite band memory is in our sophomore year we went to Wolf Lodge, and instead of going to the water park we hid in the arcade all day. And then there's this one game called Mega Stacker where these lights go across the floor and you have to line them up by hitting a button and it gets to the top. Whatever. It was $1 to play per try, and so it's a quasi-rhythm based game. And so when Isaac lost 10 times in a row, it really hurt his feelings being a musician and all. So he started borrowing money from people so he could play more. And so
Well, the prize was a PlayStation 3 Uncharted 3 edition.
So it was big boy stuff, And then okay, well, good luck. And so collectively, I think Isaac spent about $270 borrowing from random people like Noah and me and Parker and stuff like that. And then by the end of the trip, he never paid any of them back. So to this, still haven't paid Parker back. So.
No. Did you mention it was like $300?
Yeah, it was that.
So, our favorite band show is If I Only Had, obviously, because that was the best one. Our favorite band moment comes from New Orleans. It was the night when we were supposed to go on the boat and party and whatever. Wandering around, and it was getting to about the time where we needed to get on the boat. We lost track of our chaperone, or she lost track of us, or something. I don't really remember. We saw Anselay, so we're like, Anselay, can we walk by ourselves over to the boat because it's not that far away? And he was all in jazz mode, and he was like, yeah, go ahead. I don't think he even knew we were there. So we started walking. There was 7 of us. And all of a sudden, there was this guy and a dog. Somebody said something.
The dog was peeing, and then Ashley was like, why is the dog peeing? And Margaret was just kind of like, what are you talking about? It's a dog. They pee outside. And as the homeless guy was walking past us, I guess he took offense to that.
Yeah, he got really upset. pretty sure he was drunk.
Or high.
Or high. Or both. So we just sort of tried to ignore him. But then no, somebody had to interact, and then he starts yelling, and we were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die! And so we started walking like really fast, and it was scary.
No running, because
No.
kids.
Yeah, no running. Just walking really fast for our lives.
Towards a boat.
Thanks, Aunt Soleil.
Alright, so for my favorite show, it would probably have to be my sophomore year. We went to a drumline competition, and we had to provide a name for what our show was called. But we weren't trying to put anybody to sleep, and Smith didn't think anybody would hear it or know, or it would never be announced. So Smith decided to call it Big Time Bang. So we're all sitting here like ready to play, and all of a sudden they call over the intercom, and McNeil with their show, Big Time Bang! So we had to try really hard not to laugh. But for my favorite senior memory, it would probably have to be my sophomore year when the whole drumline was warming up on the field one morning. And we were playing really well, it was sounding good, like right before a competition, when all of a sudden the girls' cross-country team comes running across us. So they run right in front of us, and all of a sudden it starts sounding really terrible. It sounds like trash, and Smith's wondering what's going on. He turns around and sees the girls' cross-country, and as soon as they were passed, we started great again, so he got after us about that. So, I guess boys will be boys.
My favorite show was the freshman year one, which was If I Only Had. I think that was my favorite because it was just the first show that I did, and I got to march in the competitive spots, so that was a lot of fun. And my favorite band memory was when at BOA Houston, me, Wyatt, and a bunch of other French horns ran in the middle of the street and started almost yodeling, I guess, and skipping. And that was a lot of fun. And we made cars stop, so that was good.
My favorite show was If I Only Had, and my favorite band memory was when we were in New Orleans with it was me, Brett, Justin, and June, and we picked up a Bible. Well,
yeah, we picked up a Bible.
And we used what was in the Bible to rap, and that was a good time.
Psalm 23 was great.
My favorite memory was in freshman year. Smith had this policy that we couldn't have our suitcase under our chairs. So what would happen was Mark would have his case under his chair, and then Evan, Preto, June, Kim, and I, we'd take his case, and then we'd take turns pulling stuff out of it, like mouthpieces, reeds, ligatures, like everything. And we just roll it under his chair when it was real quiet, and everybody would look. And there's this one other senior who would go, Mark, what did you drop your mouthpiece? It was hilarious. But then one day, Mark turned around too much, and so Smith said, if you turn around one more time, I'm kicking you guys all out. So we decided to take all this stuff, and we would put it in his hoodie. And then we would go, hey Mark, put on your hoodie. And then he'd do it, and then everything would just fall out and land on the floor. Mark would just immediately turn around, and Smith just goes, you three, out of here. I'll deal with you guys in 5 minutes. He forgot about us until the end of class. And we just walked in there, and he goes, oh, just don't do that stuff next time. We were done.
So, our favorite marching show.
No, let me tell it.
Our favorite marching show definitely had to be Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep.
Don't you mean If I Only Had?
That's what I said. My favorite band memory was sophomore year. It was last week before graduation. We were all playing a band, and it involves Eric King, and a lot of you don't know him. He graduated 2 years ago. Well, anyway, so we're playing in graduation, and the seniors had to play actually, which I'm sure they're really thrilled about, because we're playing Jared Buse towards Sky's End, and so Ansley, he was like writing on the whiteboard like a football coach, because he was trying to demonstrate how they were going to move from their seats at graduation into the ensemble to play with us, and he was, getting all sweaty and writing this and that, like drawing X's and O's. And it was actually a pretty ridiculous scene. And so he does that for about 2 minutes. And I'm sitting next to Eric, and I tap Eric on the shoulder, and I'm like, hey Eric, it'd be really funny if after he's done explaining this, you were like, wait, can you say that again? And he was like, no dude, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, okay. So anyway, he gets done with his explanation, wipes his brow, and I see a hand come up next to me, and it's Eric. And so Eric raises his hand, also goes, yes, Eric? And Eric says, wait, can you explain that again? And the look of shock on Mr. Onsley's face, just pure frustration, as everyone in the room just started laughing. And Eric really has always served as a role model to me, and I actually talked to him recently. He's a paratrooper in the U.S. Army, and I've always really looked up to him, and he's just a great guy, and thank him for his service.
My favorite band memory isn't that emotional. Mine has to be when the Sax Quartet was playing on top of the Marriott Hotel for the Adobe RISD STEM to STEAM social. Oh, is that right? And I remember we were paid to play around 20 to 30 minutes, but we were getting ready to wrap up our spiel, but they requested one more song, and we had already repeated our songs, all of them, so we just pull out, and this is in the middle of March. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, written and composed by none other than... So we get done playing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, just really funky and really Christmassy, and they clap, of course, because I think the people there were too drunk to really know what we were playing. And Nick Seaman comes up to me, he's like, hey, what's that last song you played, man? It's so funky. Love it. Love it! So, love that memory. And also, I think I'm really gonna cherish all the many siblings I made. Like this guy. He's going off to Waco, staying in Austin, but we're gonna keep in touch.
No, we're not.
We are, and thanks to all my band siblings, starting with Alex Morgan freshman year, and right now Francis and Diana. Really thanks them for all the memories they made. And Albert, I think I'm going to announce here that he's not my cousin. We've been kind of having that go on for 3 years now, and thanks to all you guys who bought it, but we're not cousins, and thank you for stereotyping.
My favorite band show was If I Only Had.
So was mine.
Same here.
Yay! So our favorite band moment happened this year at Region Band. So they let us out for lunch and stuff, and so we got in my car, and you know how the parking lots here, they don't have the parking blocks in the front, they have just lines.
They have nothing?
So there's nothing there. So just out of habit, I pulled forward and went over this parking block, and then we got stuck.
I was wondering what she was doing, because she put the car in drive, and I was like,
It's
what's
okay.
happening?
It's okay. And so, and the worst thing was there were 3 or 4 band directors behind us, just laughing. They didn't even come to help or see if we were okay. They just laughed.
And all the kids were looking, and they're like,
Yeah, there were some
Look
kids
at
that got
this
into the
girl.
car next to us and they were just really judgmental. And so like we tried putting it in reverse and like going back over, but it just really didn't work. So then like we're sitting there like I'm about to start crying and like call my parents and I
then
don't even know.
She asked me, should I just run over the other one too? No?
So then, basically, like what happened was I looked in the rearview mirror. Actors weren't pointing and laughing anymore, and so I just kind of like floored it in reverse, and then we went over, and there was this huge crash, and then we were free. Yay!
My favorite band memory is when Smith said, "No nerds," and I put on nerd glasses and said, "Ah, dang it!" And Smith made me pick mascot, the Bit Dustins.
My favorite show was definitely If I Only Had.
My favorite show that I marched in was Garden of Your Mind, but if I could have marched in If I Only Had, I probably would have enjoyed that.
And it's not really our favorite band memory, but it's definitely a memorable one. It was on the band trip this year. And me, Lucas, Daniel Wynn, and Zach Spells went on a hike. And we kind of just ventured off and found our own path,
I found a trail, they followed me.
basically. And we ended up, we found these big rocks, and it was like what you see in a movie. Like, you have to climb over the big rocks to get to the other side. It's just like, shabam.
And then one gets eaten, and then you have to come back.
Okay, but anyways, and so we climb over these rocks, and that was already a struggle. And we get there and we find all of these like dead animal bones and all of this creepy stuff. You want to describe?
Yeah. So we look around, we see a bunch of animal bones, and then Elizabeth is like, okay, I'm just gonna wait here. So Daniel and I decided to go a little bit farther, and that's when it started to smell bad. And so we decided to run. And so we all turned around and left after looking at some bones some more.
Yeah, and so we're quickly climbing over these rocks, and we're trying not to die and everything. And I somehow ended up as the line leader, leading everybody out. And my hearing is really on because I'm freaking out, and so I freeze because I heard a noise. So we all looked over, and I was just like, "What is that?" It was a snake about like this big, black. It looked like
it was like that.
It looked like a freaking pipe.
My field of vision.
Oh my gosh! And so we just saw its head like moving around, and
I
that's
didn't see
when
the head. I just saw a tree. And then she's like, what is that? And I was like, I don't remember a pipe being... Oh, snake.
And yeah, we just all ran after that. And
Zach Spell wanted to go touch it. And I told him that was a very bad idea.
And so we almost got eaten by a snake.
Go band.
My favorite show was Garden of the Mind, aside from the umbrellas. Okay, on the band trip this year, I put some water in a coffee pot, and Izzy got up in the middle of the night and put it in the freezer. And Zoe, thinking she was a genius, thought she could melt the ice with hot water, and instead of the ice melting, she shattered the coffee pot.
Our favorite show was Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep.
This was really good. Really good.
Very.
So what's your story?
I'd say my favorite story was during the last football game of senior year when all the senior clarinets decided to improvise on Isaac's solo. If you heard a bunch of random squeaks and squeals, that was us.
Favorite show is probably going to be If I Only Had. That's freshman year, right? Yeah, because Kevin and I were in NCS together. Good memories. Like how I broke his clarinet 3 times.
favorite shows, probably this year's, because it's my only year, and because I joined Color Guide this year. And I think what I'll miss most is probably hanging out with my friends. I don't know. It was really fun to join Color Guide this year because I actually became a part of something, and so I think I'll miss that a lot.
My favorite band memory would have been freshman year. It was my birthday for one of my first football games, and one of the seniors in my section, Brett Peeler, got Mason Dalmas and the whole band to sing happy birthday for me. And the thing I'll miss the most, it sounds really cheesy, but the thing I'll miss the most about band is having an excuse to hang out with a bunch of really awesome people.
Our favorite band memory was playing Big Time Bang our sophomore year.
And we're really gonna miss band. Just kidding.
Well, my favorite show is If I Only Had, of course.
My favorite marching show is If I Only Had, and my favorite Winter Guard show is The First Step.
And I think the thing that I'm going to miss the most about band is just the football games and having fun with everybody in the band.
And my favorite band memory is from this past marching season. It was at retreat for U.S. bands, and we didn't know there was going to be a retreat, so the drum majors didn't have uniforms, the guard captains didn't have uniforms, but the captains all happened to be wearing the same thing. So the directors were like, okay, you guys just go down and go to retreat. So we were like super informal and just joking around, and it was really fun. And like everyone else is being all serious, we were just being stupid.
Yeah.
So
Just so you know, my least favorite band memory, our least favorite band memory, was freshman year. What was it? BOA Houston?
Yeah, BOA Houston.
So it was a long bus ride to get to the competition. And I was going to sit by Laura. So I got on the bus first. And then before Laura got on, Justin Pittman got on the bus. And he sat right next to me to sit with all of his friends. And Laura was like, hey Justin, can you move? I wanted to sit there. And he's like, no, I'm gonna sit here. So for the whole bus ride, I just had to sit next to like Justin and not get to talk to Laura the whole time, and I was really upset.
And I had to go sit in the back with all the upperclassmen. I was the only freshman back there.
Yeah, so awkward. Justin, you're awesome, but that's my least favorite band member.
Yeah.
So.
My favorite show was If I Only Had. I guess I agree. We were on the bus on the way back from a game that we actually won, which was a miracle, of course. And I don't know how it happened, but we started singing. We started making beats first, and then we started singing. Oh yeah. Because we got on our hat boxes and like we were drumming really loud and screaming, so that was fun. And then that turned into singing stand tunes at the top of our lungs. And people joined in, and then the whole bus was singing. It was wonderful. It was really just bonding.
My favorite band show was Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep because it was really good. I'm gonna miss Albert. I'm done.
My favorite band memory happened sophomore year, and sophomore year was perfect because of two reasons. One, it was the first year we used water jugs, and two, all the tubes are still all along the back row of the bleachers. So I was drinking water, and I ran out of water. So I opened up the water jug to kind of investigate, and I pulled out this giant chunk of ice, and I was wondering what to do with it. So I look over at Kyle, and he's over there talking to someone. So I hold the ice over his tuba belt, and I'm like, hey Kyle, but he's not looking. So I keep trying to get his attention. And Jarrett Cook, who's like 6'5", is standing between us. He looks down at me and goes, well, we might as well just drop it. So I look up at Jarrett, I look over at Kyle, I look back at Jarrett. Without breaking eye contact with Jarrett, I move my hand over one spot and drop it down Jarrett's bell. And as soon as I drop it, it like disintegrates, and the noise it made was like this rumbling, crunching noise. And it made everyone in the back 3 rows turn around and stare at Jarrett, and we all laughed at him as he dumped out the ice from his tuba.
My favorite show was probably If I Only Had. Although I wish I wasn't a freshman because I would have known what I was doing. But it was fun.
My favorite show was probably If I Only Had also. I didn't really get to be a part of it, but I heard it was pretty cool. It sounded pretty cool. So, yeah.
Okay. And my favorite band moment was probably one night after guard practice, we got a break. And me and Hannah were being stupid, running through the halls, and I ended up giving her a piggyback ride. And we walked into the band hall. We were being super loud and yelling, and it was really embarrassing. And there was actually a band booster meeting going on. So we walked into the band hall, and we were like, oh wow, nobody's here. And all of a sudden we looked around, and all the band boosters were looking at us. And it was bad. We hopped off, and we got silent, and they just burst out laughing. It was a good time.
My favorite band moment probably has to be the one that happened a few days ago, actually. And we found this big box in the band hall, and I don't know what it was there for. It probably belonged to somebody, but yeah. Anyways, big box, like a little shorter than me. And of course, when you find a box that you can fit in, I don't know how to put that, a big enough box for you to fit in, you have to get inside the box. It's a natural, instinct. You gotta get in the box. So I got in the box, and we started, first we put people in the box, and they walked around with a big box on them. I don't know, it's like a long box, and you would look like a box, but with feet. And you'd walk around, we started pushing people in the box and stuff. Anyways, I got the bright idea to take the box and sit right outside the band hall doors, but on the inside part, right next to the trash cans, and squat down in the box, right? And scare people as they come in. And got knocked over a few times, but it's pretty good. The first person I got was Elizabeth Liao, and that was really funny because she freaked out, and I was like, we're not friends anymore! And it was pretty good. And then the next person was really, really good also. I have a video of this one. It's Ben Henthorne, and I swear to God, I scared him. He was with his girlfriend, and his leg comes up 5 feet in the air, and he yells, "Oh God!" and just bolts it. It was just it was awesome. And I also have another video of one where I got Marco Cueto, and this has to be my favorite because he walks in, and I jump out of the box and scare him, but he hadn't really come fully into the band hall yet. So he walks in and I scare him, and he freaks out and he yells, and he falls backwards into the door, and his arm hits the door and makes a slap sound, and he falls and
Just sits there.
He just sort of sits there.
Wait, so the two questions are.
Wait. So what do I say?
What do I say? You're gonna ask a question. Yeah, what's the question? Yeah.
My name?
How do we start this?
What are we gonna say?
We're filming?
Yes.
Go.
No, I don't know. I'm thinking of my story. Hi. My name is Jimin.
Jason, you ruined it.
Sorry.
My favorite band moment was.
We're gonna tell his story and we'll just agree that's our favorite story.
What's your favorite show?
Now I look it down, right?
Yeah. It was really good.
My favorite. What was it? Show. My favorite show.
That was terrible, Kevin. That was terrible. That was really bad. Why'd you bring me here?
It's perfect. I'm just still gonna add one. What's next? Wow.
Did they write Smith?
Isn't that right, Smith?
Hey, Mom.
Hold up.
Box track. There's a bug.
The first person I got was Elizabeth Leal. Yeah, right.
And cut. Cut. I don't.
So what are you gonna miss the most?
Everything.
Not gonna miss getting no sleep. I like sleeping.
Sleep deprivation was not fun.
No.
He's dying.
Think back.
Oh, you do.
Cut! And then you end the story like, and he never paid them back.
Favorite show? Oh, you did? Okay. Well.
That's when like you stand up, like you're sitting down, and you're like, our favorite band memories. Big time bang. Ja, digga, digga, digga.
What else?
That's it.
Okay.